start a conversation here with the gentleman to my left, Rob Dixon. Rob has created a number of organizations that really, I think, exemplify what marketplace ministry is about. He created an organization called Sons of the Carpenters, which was an association of Christian-based businesses, and also, even more recently, a organization that's dedicated to serving seniors right here in our home area on the Space Coast of Florida called the Golden Providers. And it was the same idea. It was a group of business people who came together but seemed to share a common set of values and perhaps even unspoken, then the faith under it. In addition to that, you also run Sentinel Care. Sentinel Care is a guardianship and a senior management organization. So let me start with just having kind of painted a top level of that. Let me have you add and expand a little bit to your background.
Okay, well, I'm married with 4 children, and about 12, 13 years ago, my grandmother, they both took ill and passed away. My father and mother also took ill and passed away, and then my daughter also was ill, but fortunately, she's doing fine today. So that introduced me to the whole world of case management and how much it was needed in the community. My brother is an attorney as well as my dad was, and they both encouraged me to get involved in senior case management. And so about 7 years ago, I took the courses, became state certified, and started becoming really a son, I suppose, although son for hire, to the elder community, so that as the seniors need someone to come alongside them to help them in whatever areas they might need, paying their bills for them, helping them with doctor's appointments, managing their money, helping them with end-of-life issues, and then once they do pass, to be able to, settle their estate and stand in their shoes to do as they would have wanted done, to make sure that happens. And so, as a case manager, I work for somebody else. As a guardian, I'm court-appointed by the state of Florida through the 18th Circuit, and then I act on behalf of them as a court-appointed guardian, which is somewhat similar to a natural guardian, which would be a parent of children.
Well, one of the things that's interesting is I know in some of the discussions we've had before, you often get called in at a point of major crisis. Something has happened, and now you're literally arriving on the scene and trying to figure out how to keep it all moving in the right direction. And that probably presents you with the opportunity to see people at some of the most difficult times when they're confronting some of these really complex choices. How do you ever find ministry opportunities within that, or what kind of are there stories that come out of those kind of experiences?
Well, I was actually speaking to Jamie earlier on because my preference is to swim upstream and try to engage people prior to a crisis happening. You've heard the old adage, if you don't plan to fail, or if you don't, let's see, now I forget.
Fail to plan.
Fail to plan.
Yeah.
And
plan to fail.
And so I've been working on trying to help empower the local community of churches to train their people to help the elder community, and so that when something bad does happen, that they don't already there's not a crisis in place because we have everything in place ahead of time. And so stepping into a crisis is very difficult. It's also very expensive because I'm running blind trying to locate assets, trying to find who their doctor is, what allergies, what the medications they take, and they might have a loved one at home that they've been taking care of. So it's very bad situation when I come in after the fact.
Right. Well, it's interesting because along the journey, I think part of that caused you to consider forming this network called Golden Providers. And Golden Providers sort of became, as I would say, one part Better Business Bureau, one part referral mechanism so people in the same industry could be connected. But there was also another part that was very strong in this, which was the accountability part, where you actually wanted vendors and people who were caring for seniors to be committed to a certain standard so that nobody was ripping, somebody off or things like that. that's a very interesting thing. And one of the things I noticed as you assembled the people, that they were very, very like in purpose and philosophy. Could you explain sort of how you came up with the concept and what made you think to go in that direction?
Well, the earlier adventure I had was Sons of the Carpenter, and that's where I pulled together Christian businesses that had a heart for ministry and also worked in their vocation, whether it be as an electrician, a plumber, a medical doctor, an accountant, a financial planner, a lawyer. And that was 2001, 2002. Around 2007 is when I started to come up with the help of two good friends of mine, Robin and Lisa. And we came up with expanding on that to look after the senior community, holding each other accountable. And yet, because we had not many, but a couple of dear friends that were not Christ followers, we wanted to include them. And so we ended up with an organization a couple years ago that had 65 businesses in both the blue collar and white collar side, looking after the needs of the elderly, including the trades, the plumber, the contractor, the handyman. And as far as accountability goes, that we encourage the Matthew 18 principle, where if you have something against your brother, you go to him quietly, and if he doesn't respond, you bring 2 or 3 with you, and if he doesn't respond after 2 or 3 other members within the organization, then what you would do is you bring before the golden providers, and then we would use that leverage to hopefully rectify the situation and take care of the customer.
It's an important way to work that. We're gonna talk a little bit more about that. Jamie?